My EDC for 2024, let's check it out. EDC, or everyday carry. These are the items that you carry on your person every day. Your wallet, your phone, your keys. And then it expands from there. The items that I use on a regular basis, I keep with me, whether it's a flashlight, a knife, and we're going to look at a lot of those different items. It's items that I choose to carry because they suit me. And it's a very personal choice when it comes to EDC. What's right for me may not be right for you. And so choosing those items, and guys, it's something you live with. So buying good quality items is important and can make your life that much better. And so EDC, we're going to take a look at what I'm carrying for 2024. And EDC just gets you ready to seize the day. And guys, again, this is what I'm carrying on an everyday basis. In fact, I'm getting ready to go to lunch, and this will be what I have on my person. And to me, these are the items that I use on a regular basis. Not more, not less. This is what I have. Now, first off, this is what everybody typically carries. So they carry their wallet, and they carry their keys and their phone. These are the items that everyone needs at all times. And so I have my iPhone 15, just got it, have my OtterBox on the way, and I will protect it. But this is brand new, so unfortunately I don't have it. Then I have my billfold. This has been in a couple of different videos. This is actually from Obuy, but this is no longer available. And guys, I love this wallet. I love the leather, and it does have the chassis system. Of course, I filled this up. My CWP and my driver's license are in here, and then my credit cards. And this is just a really cool way to be able to pull out your credit cards. It gives it some structure. It gives it some RFID protection. And so I really love this billfold. In fact, we were just out of town, and I've got my hotel key was right here. I could just pull it out. And it just gives you a lot of options. And I have my cash right here. I always keep cash on hand. And it's just something that in case of an emergency, in case the ATMs are down, having cash. And then my key bar, and this is something that I have used for many years. I had the copper, and I used the copper for a long time. It just got to be where it was heavy. And so I switched to this micarta. I really like key bar and a very strong clip. And then I can tuck my keys here so when I need them and I know where they are. And of course I have my Jeep key right here. And I make this to where it can come off. And these magnets are excellent. I've been using them for years as well. And these actually I got from Key Bar. But this just allows me, if I'm starting my car and I need to run back in my shop or the house, I can just separate it. So it makes it really easy. Now comes a step above just the basics. And we have a watch. I know you can use your cell phone for a watch. For me personally, I like a watch on my wrist. And I don't like pulling out my phone just to check the time. I can just look right on my wrist, very discreet. And plus, again, I just think it's nice to have a watch. This is one of the Invictas. I really started picking these up after watching Nothing Fancy. He got me started on these. But again, I love it. But one thing about this watch in particular, it's an automatic. And so this is going to keep time, and it's not going to, in case there's an EMP or my battery runs out or whatever, I can keep this running as long as I'm wearing it. Also, one of the O-knife, and this is the driver. I don't know what it is about this knife, but I just love it. I have a lot of very expensive knives and a lot to choose from, but there's something about this knife that I just keep picking up. And the ball bearings are ceramic, and it's just so smooth. And I love the blade shape. I love just the profile. And it has the micarta kind of scales to it, so it gives it a little bit of texture. Telling you what, guys, this is just a sweet knife. Now I do carry other knives, but this tends to be the one that I carry the most. And then we have one of the Maxpedition. This is one of their tactical pens, and I picked this up years ago. And I like to have a pen, and so why not just about for the same size, just go with a tactical pen. So this gives me another self-defense capability, and you can use that as an impact tool, non-lethal, and a lot of times you can carry a pen where you can't carry a knife or definitely a firearm. And I like the size. It's very discreet, it's very small. Some of the tactical pens get really large, and I just tend not to carry them. So really like this pen. Light is your number one security tool, and having a good flashlight, it illuminates the dark, and obviously the older I get, the more I depend on light. And so this just gives me something in my pocket that I can use, not just at night, but sometimes something rolls under one of your cabinets, or you just need to see something a little clearer. You're in a restaurant, you can't see the menu. Lights are just great, but the number one thing is security. Now, I didn't think I needed a light until I started carrying one, and I use these all the time. This is the Arcfeld Pro by Olight. It is hands down my favorite EDC light ever since it came out. The whole Arcfeld series has been great. But this gives you light, and not just a little bit of light. It gives you a massive amount of light in lumens. I believe it's 1200 lumens. Then we go to the next setting, which is laser. And so you have a green laser, great for pointing, just for different things, playing with your dog or cat. It works. And then you go to the next point, and we have UV, which UV comes in handy for a lot of things. And if you want to see more about this particular light, I have the review annotated above. These are great. They're flat. They have a double pocket clip. They have texturing on the side. But having a good light is vital, again, for those times where you're in the dark and you need to see. And everyone can use a good flashlight. Plus, you get 10% off using Sootch 00 with the link down below in the description. Concealed carry. It's a huge part of my life. I carry all the time. Honestly, if you have a concealed carry permit, you should carry on an everyday basis. When you least expect it is when you need it. If you don't have a concealed carry permit, you should have one, because your life is worth it, and your family. And guys, just being able to defend yourself. I mean, honestly, your chances of using a firearm in a self-defense situation are small, but it only has to happen one time to be worth it all. Plus, you can actually defend others. This is the Smith & Wesson CSX. It's a single action, really a mini 1911 style, and it has an aluminum frame. I started carrying this a few months ago, and I love it. I've been carrying the polymer striker fire pistols for a long time. I still do, but there's something about this aluminum frame and just the way this gun shoots that I love. And honestly, this is the first time, except for maybe a J-frame revolver, that I have carried a Smith & Wesson for my regular EDC. And this is what I typically carry. One of the things about this particular gun is the reset was a little bit soft. When you'd pull the trigger, pull it back, and I had Robbie Wheaton, my buddy, that's a gunsmith, to just kind of give that more of a crisp definition. It shoots like a dream. I love this handgun. Now, I do carry some other firearms at times, but this has been my regular for a good while now. And I have one of the craft holsters. This is an outside the waistband. I have not carried outside the waistband until the past year or so. I started carrying when I got a couple of these craft holsters, and ever since then, it's just a super comfortable way to carry. And I carry every day, and it's not that much harder to conceal than even an inside the waistband, but it's a heck of a lot more comfortable. And I like it. It's right there at the 4 o'clock position. My shirt or whatever, I dress for it. So craft holsters makes great holsters. Molded, beautiful leather, very rich, very well done. I have now had quite a bit of experience with craft holsters. And so to me, this makes a great combination, and this is the basis for my self-defense. But the real foundation of your self-defense is your belt, and that is your platform. That's where you draw from your holster. You have the tension needed to keep that holster stable while you draw your firearm. And I love the Dowtech Force bull leather belts. I've been carrying these or wearing these for about 12 years. In fact, here is one of my first ones. It's not the first, but this is one of the first ones. And after years and years, they get really comfortable, but they don't quite have the rigidity. And so I've gone to a newer one, and I've had this one for about 3 or 4 years. They hold up very well, and they look good, and they really hold your firearm well. But if I'm going out to dinner, if I'm going out with friends, if I want to dress it up, I'm going to church, I use one of the Core Essentials belts. I love these. They're very comfortable to wear. They're rigid. They have an insert inside, so it makes it really nice to wear these. And they just look great. And you can really adjust this to fit whatever you need. And Core Essentials, I've had these for a number of years now, and I love them. They're just an excellent belt. There are some other belt systems, but make sure that you get one that has some rigidity, because you want to hold that holster to your hip or to your appendix or wherever you carry. And an extra magazine. Now, when I'm around the house, I don't typically carry an extra magazine, but when I am out, I like to have one. This is one of the Neoclips. And first off, I recommend that you have a way to orient your magazine when you put it in your pocket. Don't just drop it down in your pocket. It makes it more difficult if you have to do an emergency reload. So having one of these clips, it's actually magnetic and it locks on. You go up, you put it in your pocket. It just fits really well. It's very well made, and I really like it. But this is something that I think is important, especially when you're out and about. Around the house, again, I don't wear it, but I love the Neoclip. But there are other options out there. I really recommend you having some way to secure that magazine so you can get to it and you know where it is. Now, one of the options, and actually I'm going to this one, this is the Bull Armory SAS2 Ultralight, and it has the 3.25-inch barrel. This is a very compact 2011 style. It has that 16-round mag capacity. It has the polymer grip shell, aluminum frame. Man, this shoots like a dream, and I thought maybe it wouldn't because the barrel is fairly short, but it's in 9mm. And so this is just a beautiful gun. Bull Armory makes some of the best 2011 style pistols out on the market. And I really like the Bulls. I have a 4.25-inch barrel that I love as well, but this makes a great concealed carry option. The only reason I have not been carrying this one is I didn't have a holster. So I had a good friend of mine, Chris Ryan from Mayhem Holsters. He has made a couple of holsters for me, and I'm gonna tell you, Mayhem Holsters make some of the highest quality holsters out on the market. In fact, they do some really good work for like Ed Brown and other really big name gun companies. And Chris is just a great guy. It was funny, I met him at our local gun show here in Greenville, South Carolina. And I'll tell you, I have been extremely pleased with his work. And so he put together a couple of holsters for me. This is an outside the waistband. It is absolutely beautiful. I mean, such craftsmanship. And this is going to come up in a review. I'm doing, in fact, a review on a few of his holsters. This is an inside the waistband. It has more of the raw type hide or leather on the outside, and then we've got the tanned leather at the top. Really nice clips. But there is a review coming up on this, but I've been waiting to get these holsters so I can, start to carry this little SAS2, because, I mean, again, Bull Armory makes great guns, and when I took this out to the range, I immediately decided this was going to be one of my concealed carry options. And I'll have Mayhem Leather's information down below in the description. Now, off-body carry has its place, and really you should have some sort of setup for off-body carry. What got me started was we have a pool, and a lot of times I'm over there with just my swimsuit on and some flip-flops, and I wanted to have something handy that I could have a firearm or whatever for self-defense. This is the Helicon Possum. It's a very small little EDC fanny pack, and very well made. But I also take this to the beach. But one thing that it's really come in handy on a pretty much week-to-week basis is martial arts. And so when I go to martial arts, I take this with me. I have my gi on, so I can't really conceal it. And so this just gives me an option to have this with me at all times, and it's not just sticking out, so I can put this back in a secure location. I have it with me. We're going to look at this, and maybe you're at the beach or at the lake, you're at the gym, and this gives you just an ability to carry. So first off, of course, in the center, we have our firearm, and this is the LCP Max, and it's a 380 ACP, but the LCP was tiny, but this gives you 10+1. Big fan of this little handgun, and it shoots really well. This is one of the Black Hawk formable holsters. It just actually molds to your firearm, so when you put it in, it gives it retention. And yet it's soft and it's lightweight, and it actually sets this up to be able to be drawn fairly easily. And then also here at the front, I have a little zippered pocket where I keep my keys. And I want to separate my keys from my gun because I don't want them to get in the way and I don't want to scratch it up. So my keys are there. And then here at the front, or this is the back, I have my cell phone. And you know, you need your cell phone. And then at the front, I have a wallet. And I want to make sure, of course, if I'm driving, but even if I'm not, I have my CWP or my concealed carry permit in here, and I want to make sure I have that. So just the essentials. I don't put a whole lot in here. This is just a, you know, if I'm into something specific, and so this just gives me very simple, and yet it's protection, and it has the items that I have to have. Now, a couple of honorable mentions for my concealed carry, especially for specific things. If I'm going out to dinner or going somewhere nice, or again, going to church, I take my Kershaw live wire. This is an automatic knife out the front. It is one of the smoothest actions that I've ever felt. I found this at the Blade Show in Atlanta last year, and I'm gonna tell you what, I love this knife. And of course, you have to make sure that you know you're able or legally able to carry this in your state. But these are just excellent knives. So whenever I'm going out, I like to carry an automatic. And then I have the Olight Art Flex. And this is when I'm doing jobs, especially outside, or I've got some things to do that I want to have an angled flashlight. You know, I have that capability, and it's just a great little light. This is very much like the standard arc failed, but it has a side switch. And I love this little light. I do carry it quite often. But the Arc Failed Pro is my #1 EDC. Now my EDC box, this is something that I put together a few years ago. It actually was from Harbor Freight. It's just a wooden box, has a lot of potential to be able to put things in it. Of course, I have a lot of knives, I have watches, have flashlights, my wallet, but also I have my Amino from Olight, and that charges all my flashlights. So it sits on top of the shelf, and everything's hooked up, and I always know that my flashlights are charged or fully charged. Also, I have a holder for my watches, and so I can set all my watches in this little holder. I picked it up on Etsy, and it just really organizes things. So having everything organized is vital, and it just makes life simpler. Well guys, that is my personal EDC. It's what I carry on an everyday basis. There's not too much, there's not too little. Those are the items that I find that I need. If I have something on me that I just don't use, like a multi-tool, I just don't use them. So I put them away. I have them handy in case I do need one, but it's not something I use every day. And it just helps me to streamline what I do carry. Again, it's a very personal choice, and so down below in the comments, if you would, leave your EDC items and what you carry. It can help others to make choices. Maybe they find something or see something, they say, ah, that's a good idea. And so your EDC is important. It gets you through the day smoother, and it gets you prepared. Be strong, be of good courage. God bless America. Long live the Republic. And the ability to use self-defense is a God-given right. This is actually, okay. This is my drum, my EDC drum. Or leave them in the comments. Okay, no, I'm gonna say that now. I don't want to say that now. Be strong, be of good courage. God bless America. Long live the Republic. That's kind of goofy. That's goofy. That's just like, Now, light is your #1 security tool, and having a good light just gives you a lot of security. Yeah, no kidding. No kidding. A lot of security. And so, you know, we're going to take a look at the items that got the